Welcome to another fabrication video. This time we will be making lots of circles and putting them together into a trellis for the garden. This episode is graded in high dynamic range and I will have some amazing slow motion welding shots later, so stay tuned. We got 6 full length of 1/2 inch by 3/16 inch mild steel bars. That's 120 feet or roughly 37 meters. Some basic high school math is needed to figure out the correct length. We are trying to make as many circles as possible on a given mandrel and also need a little bit of extra to have something to hold on. Since the bar is quite thin, we can do all the bending cold. The basic idea is to bend the mild steel bar around the tube as many times as it fits. The jig has a little stop welded next to the tube that holds the bar. In this case, our leg vise is not all that stable and we use the weight of a second person to stabilize it. After bending, we end up with 4 circles that we need to cut apart and then weld together. The trick with the bandsaw is to cut one circle at a time and not to try to cut them all at once. We need 4 different ring sizes, and for each of them we calculate how much material to cut so that we can create as many rings at once as possible. For this video I had a lot of extra help. Tony was visiting from Chicago and Nils Anderssen was visiting from Norway. When bending around our makeshift mandrel, we need to keep the bends as tight and even as possible so that the resulting rings are all of the same size. As we are essentially winding up a spiral, some adjustment is needed to bring the ends back together. Some hits with the hammer, while clamping the lower end of the ring in a vise usually does the trick. We are slowly working our way up to the larger ring sizes, and I'm starting to run out of space in the shop. The longer the initial bar, the more space we need around the mandrel, and we are sort of navigating the obstacles that are getting in the way. Finally, we are getting to our largest ring size, and of that we just need a couple, but the technique is slightly different, as you will see. After having made 30 to 40 rings, we need to weld them together. This is actually easier with some help to prevent the ends from coming apart. We are careful to just weld from the outside to make cleanup on the belt sander easier. Once we have created all the rings for the trellis, we go back to our master plan and fit them to our layout. Placing the rings is pretty fast, but making all the little connection pieces will be somewhat annoying. When welding, we will only weld from the top and the bottom, but not from the sides. The trellis is not going to support anything really heavy. After we completed welding on one side, we flipped the trellis over and supported it on 2 sawhorses. To give you a sense how welding looks like for the person operating the welding machine, we tried to take a couple of shots through the helmet. It looks a little bit odd, but conveys a different perspective. Slow motion and high dynamic range make welding look almost magical. I hope you enjoy what you see. I am probably overindulging here, but I could watch this for hours. With the aperture wide open, depth of field makes the sparks appear peaceful. After all the welding of the rings is done, it's time for another round of cleanup with the angle grinders. Slow motion turns this into abstract art as well. Alright, enough with that. We are basically done and just need to figure out how to mount the whole contraption. We think that 3 legs made from square bar should be sufficient to hold it. What's left after that is to weld the legs onto a plate that can be fixed into some concrete. Because the trellis is quite tall and the material very thin, it's not completely self-supporting. We are also welding on a bracket in the back that can be used to support the trellis against a house wall. That's it. The trellis now just needs to be painted and then installed. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. Also, many thanks for the people who have joined me on Patreon. See you next time.